Hey, I'm Cary Smith, and I'm sitting here with Amar Shah. We're both with Client First Capital, and today we're talking about when should you retire, right? And we're gonna talk about maybe the five most compelling things that people consider when they're preparing to retire. But first, Amar, I learned a new word today,
All right.
and the word is cusper. And are you
Cusper.
familiar with what a cusper is?
I am not familiar with
Well, I'm
cusper.
happy to say that I'm a cusper. And when you don't fit into a particular group, it's nice when you find, something that kind of validates where you fit. A cusper is someone who most likely is a baby boomer, but they were born right on the cusp of millennials and they kind of fit in both groups. And so I feel that that's the category I'm in. Technically, I'm a boomer, but I feel a little bit younger. And with a lot of things like, I don't know, music icons, you kind of have icons in both categories. You tend to be a little more technology savvy than maybe some of the boomers, and
Right.
and then your work styles a little traditional, but at the same time, a little more flexible. So anyway, cusper is a new word I learned today. But let's talk about retirement and how do you know, or what are some of the categories that people fall into to help them decide when to retire?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the overarching theme with this would also be that financially you have to be ready before to make these leaps. But this is just like the trigger points that lead people to go into retirement. And so number one is age.
Okay,
So what do
you
you
make
think
a good
about
point.
age?
You make a good point, though. I think for all of these, financial readiness is really going to kind of be the platform, right? That you've got to be financially ready, and then once you are, these are some of the other factors you might consider. So you threw out age, and age I think is a key factor. A lot of people go through their career with an idea of when they think they'll retire. Some want to retire. I'm going to call it early. I want to retire when I'm 55, right? Others when they turn 60 or 62, when they can first be eligible to get Social Security. A lot of people grow up thinking I'll retire when I'm 65, right? And so
Right.
age I think is a key one, but that probably should be, you should probably review that from time to time, because maybe you're ahead financially and if you wanted to retire sooner you could, or maybe you're behind and you might need to work a few more years to have that financial readiness, right? So that's one that should be looked at from time to time. So age is definitely one of them.
Yeah, and I think also with age is like you know we used to get social security statements a paper form, right? And
Yeah,
it was just an age on there, and you just said, well, I'll just retire by that age because that's when my income's I'm gonna get social security and can offset things. And sometimes I would say age is not predefined, right? It's defined for us, and I think
right,
that's something to evaluate. The next one is health, right? So number two is health, and you know, health may cause you to retire because you may qualify for Social Security disability,
right,
um, and that may things may change. You may have something that may be terminal that gives you a finite amount of time, and probably you don't want to spend that time working. You want to spend it with your friends and family. Um, and I got personal experience in this, Carrie. So like my dad had three kidney transplants, right? And his health wasn't deteriorating, but because of that, he was able to get Social Security disability, which
okay,
allowed him to retire at 62 rather than 65, right?
yeah. So health I think is an important one, and what's also important is, for some people, it may be, I want to enjoy good health for as much as I can. And so I'm healthy and I'm financially ready. So let me retire now so I can get out there and travel and be active and do the things that I've been hoping to do in retirement. So being in good health could be also a factor for health.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that you hit on is like mobility, right? Like I think between 50 to 65, you start to realize, your knees ache or something, like it's not as easy to be as mobile as you were in your 30s and 40s. So it starts to weigh on the mind, and definitely take advantage of that mobility, especially if you have the savings, right? So the third one here is life circumstances.
Yeah, so there can be a lot of different things that happen in your life circumstances. It could be family obligations. It could be, maybe a special needs child, right? That just needs more attention, things of that nature. But there's a lot of different things that can happen in just our life circumstances that say, hey, you need to retire sooner or potentially later, right? Because maybe you need greater finances, but life circumstances can contribute to that decision as well.
Yeah, especially for those individuals out there that are in that sandwich generation where you have
Hmm.
aging parents that may need extra help, and you have children that are either boomeranging back home, or that you have grandchildren that you're going to probably move to be part of the care system or the village to help raise those children, because the cost of care is just astronomical, right, for your children.
Yeah, cost of care if you're caring for a parent, right, is one of the factors, or even caring for a spouse. And then, but I've known several people that retired sooner than they had originally planned because they wanted to move and live closer to their grandkids. They were going to be the caregivers for their grandkids while their parents worked, right? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so those family circumstances or life circumstances can be a big factor.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The fourth one is kind of one that we wouldn't normally think about, but uh, your friends are doing cool things. Your spouse may have retired before you, and she or he are doing cool things, right? And you want to be part of that, right? So I don't have an exact term for this, but it's one of the reasons that you may retire is because your friends have retired, and or your spouse has already retired.
Yeah, I think the term is FOMO. Um,
Yeah.
so you might have a fear of missing out on the fun that your friends are having, and I think that is a factor for a lot of people. They don't really know when. They've been saving and they're probably ready, and then they see their friends out there golfing, traveling, doing things that they wish that they could do, or maybe it's their spouse. Their spouse retired and they see their spouse doing that, and so definitely your friends, your spouse, your network. Maybe you're just missing out on some of the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had this client once that had a few friends going down to Patagonia on this
Hmm.
once in a lifetime trip, and wouldn't work out with work schedules, but they had saved up more than enough to retire, and then that trip was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to
Okay.
speak, to say, yeah, I want to retire so I can enjoy these type of experiences with my friends while
Yeah.
they're doing them as well.
Yeah. It sounds good.
The last one here, and I think um, this is kind of one of those sleeping topics, right? Which is career satisfaction,
Hmm.
right? Um, and I think this comes maybe in two different formats. One of which is that you've done everything that you wanted to do in your career, and you're ready to hand the baton to somebody else. Or it could be something that there's new management, things are changing, and you're just waiting for a package to leave. You know,
Right.
yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for one, the first one is, maybe you've been in your career for a while. You've accomplished, all of the key milestones and things that you wanted to accomplish. And what it might start to feel like is you have less passion. And it's probably not that you've lost the passion as much as you've just accomplished, the all of the main things that you wanted to accomplish. And it's just not as much fun or challenging as it used to be. And so, that's a very valid, I think, trigger for people to say, I'm ready to retire. But also, yeah, in today's corporate world, right, there could be, layoffs, incentives, right, to pursue retirement a little bit sooner or to pursue it now. And those things are worth consideration, right? And you have to get yourself there mentally, right? Especially if you're in an important role where you're a key decision maker, and you have a lot of responsibility, because a lot of that will change once you make the decision to retirement, and you will live without that aspect of your life. And so mentally, you have to be prepared for that change. But financially, it might be a really good opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of these people that are in this type of position will also probably have a second chapter in terms of
Mm-hmm.
second careers, or going a different direction with their talents and abilities in a nonprofit or another business or other ventures.
That's a good point for a lot of people, Amar. This may be a new beginning more than it is an end to something else. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this was great, Cary.
Yeah.
For those of you watching, please like, subscribe. It helps other individuals just like yourself find our content. If you want to subscribe to our newsletter, you can visit us at clientfirstcap.com and just hit the subscribe button. It's just 10 articles once a month. Uh, one article a month, but 10 of them. I don't want to confuse that in any other way. But thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you, Cary.
Thanks. See you, Amar.